Okay, this is now recording, so just point it where it needs to be. I have a piece of ebony in here. This is going to be either the top or the bottom for. You see it okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, the top or bottom for this piece, and what I'm going to be filling is this section right here. So I'm cutting a piece that is just going to sit on that. The next piece will be smaller, and it's going to just sit on the bottom there. Okay, so that's what I'm working on right now. After that, then we have the finial, and this is enough to make the top and the bottom finial. If I was so inclined as to drill a hole all the way through this thing so I could mount the finial here like this, then if I have a long enough hole, then it can go through and maybe contact the one underneath there and connect the two. I don't want to waste the wood.
Hey Larry.
I'd rather, yeah.
So what do I press on here to?
It's recording. You see that little red light up in the corner?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if there's a picture?
Just touch it, I think.
Oh.
Did it work?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been a while. Usually this thing is sitting on the front of my motorcycle looking at me, and I've got another one that is in the box that is right here looking at the road as I'm driving around. So if somebody does something stupid, I have video. You never know. So, okay.
So that's why you have the one pointing at you.
That's kind of, it's kind of watching behind me as well. I'm going to double your fee. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is drill a hole. This is definitely not my lathe.
You bought it, don't you?
What?
We selected that one.
Yeah, I know. This is the club lathe. It's not my lathe. I have a 22-inch lathe.
Ooh. You also have
No, it's not that. It's just like mine's bigger, and I know my lathe. Yeah. It's got this little tiny hand wheel, and mine's like this.
You also
little different.
You also have a little one.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I have a metal lathe.
Oh, that's a metal lathe.
Yeah, that's a metal lathe.
And you've got a really little lathe. You got two of them. I bought it for you.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I have another one after that too. I've got the mid lathe. Enough of that stuff, though. Okay, come on. If you want to get technical, I don't.
No, we want to play this game. It's a sweet little lathe, actually.
All right, so right now I'm just going to drill a hole all the way through. One thing you don't want to do is overheat ebony because it will crack. So give it a couple seconds and continue. This stuff is notorious for snapping. And it's good.
You want to start drill bit.
Huh?
You want to start drill bit when you do this.
Well, hopefully.
And yeah, I tend to, when I drill, I always go much slower speed. I'm not going to edit that part out, so.
No, I just wanted to see if you knocked it away from what's the point.
Okay, so I don't really need that. If I do something really goofy, it's up to you guys to say, hey, don't do that. You're the ones who are watching this stuff, so you're in charge of that.
And this, of course, is tiny, tiny bits of wood. That's why you're not wearing a face mask.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I have the face mask right here. And I have the do-rag to keep it out of my hair. Yeah.
I really need it. Yeah, it's caught up in this.
Good catch.
Can't wear a hat. It's obvious we got a brand new face shield, as you can see through it.
I'm only partially Afro-American, only when I'm turning. It's only the wood. All right, so what I need to do is measure the opening to make sure that whatever I put in there is going to fit. So, what?
No, I'm seeing this, we can't see anything here, what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, just move that. I had it so it would show on top, but you can't really see it very well. Okay, so I'm going to mark using calipers, and you're marking with this point. You do not touch this point, because if you catch that point, it'll throw it up and hit you in the face or something. So you just rest it on the tool rest and just keep this one a little bit away, and all you're going to do, you can't even see it. Okay, so it's about there. I'd say about because I can't really see anything.
We can't see it.
Yeah, you don't have the kind of light you really need.
I know. Okay, so
Two helpful hints when you're drilling a hole like you did. If you you don't have to stop. Take a skew and make a little divot for the drill bit to go into.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when it hits the wood, it'll shimmy around, and you won't get a perfectly centered hole if you make a little.
And once it's
Point
off
it
center,
forward.
it'll keep working its way, and
Yeah.
You said you love the skew.
well, that's an easy one.
And when you want to set a diameter with calipers like that, if you take a pencil and touch it and make a circle, the eyeball is real close, and it's easier to set the caliper points on there and get them right where you want them. Because what you want to do is you want to make one circle that both points fit in. Because if you're off-centered and you're only touching one point, you can get a much bigger or much smaller circle.
Right.
So,
What I have here is slightly bigger than what I want, and I know that, so that when I start cutting it and I get down to that, then I can kind of sneak up where I want to be. And that's what I want to do. Definitely need more light in here.
we should get a magnetic light to put on our road.
Yeah, look this way.
He's got two of them on his leg at home.
Yeah, I just bought one that's really, really nice. All right. So what I'm doing here is just kind of shoring up that edge, getting it squared off. All right. Now I'm going to test it. And as you can see, it's still pretty darn big. Okay. You can see that on there, I'm sure. So we need to go a little bit further. Close enough, now we can start using the actual piece. Still a little bit high. My plan here is to actually kind kind of undercut this a little bit so that it will have some space for it to move around. Almost. Right now it's in there enough that it'll stick if it puts in just a little bit more. So that'll fit on there, okay, which you don't really need to have a whole lot sticking in. Come on, let go. So that's just about right where you want it. I want to make it just a tad looser so that it doesn't swell up and actually crack the shell.
So, Barry, as you bought your thing, do they come with that big hole in them? Or did
Those
you-
are natural.
Pardon?
They're natural.
So that big central hole is already there?
Yeah,
Right, so you just match that.
yeah. What you're supposed to do is you take these and using I think it's a red cone, you smooth it out so it's a nice smooth edge, and then you match your hole for that. But I don't even bother because you're going to cover it up anyway, so
Yeah.
as long as it's fairly close, good enough.
Nature doesn't make it exactly 1.5 inches and be done with.
Exactly. That's what you have calipers for. All right, so just a tad off. Okay. So that's enough to get inside there. And so now, hopefully, yes, it will. Good. Oops, I need to take that out.
Yeah, you're taking the chuck off with your piece of wood still in it?
I just loosen things.
I always
Almost very
spin the
good.
hand wheel.
Yeah.
I hold the chuck and I spin the hand wheel.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not my label.
He's just trying to
Yeah, you're
show
telling
what
us.
happens if you don't do it right.
Observation, when you screw a chuck on, if you just screw it up gently against the face, instead of slamming it on, when you go to take it off, you can unscrew it by hand. You don't have to wrestle with it.
Okay, so I have enough on there that I should be able to get that on there nice and tight.
So that tenon that you just made to go in the thing is now what you use to hold it.
Right. Okay. This stuff cuts fairly smooth, so I shouldn't have any problems cutting it away.
That helps a lot too.
Yeah, I used to use it, but then I found out.
Yeah, it's in there pretty good. All right. So now I'm gonna use my small bowl gouge to clean it up. And this is where you start making the actual shape. Does it go any further down? It does, good. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so there's where my base is.
speed are you turning? What speed?
What?
What speed are you turning now?
Fast. I don't really look at speed. This is at 2055. I turn it up until I'm comfortable with it. It's a very small piece, so you can turn it up pretty fast and it's fine. So now, I'm hoping this is going to work. I really cannot see any. That's the nice thing about these, you can shorten them. It's kind of neat to. It does. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is do just a couple of little lines using my detail gouge and we'll put some detail on it. I need that light.
Show us your detail gouge on the camera so we can see what it really looks like.
There it is.
Okay, so it's just a sharp little pointy bit.
Yes, very, very sharp. Okay, that's done. And now I'm going to use a different tool. I'm going to turn it way down. This is a cheddar tool. And it's basically used for making weird lines and stuff. So depending on where you put the thing on there, you can come in like this, you can come in like this, or you can come in like this, or anything in between. And also whether or not you're up and down. And the speed of the lathe will determine what your pattern looks like. Okay, but you do need to have your rest right here, not out here, because this thing is going to move around. Okay, and that's what we want. It's kind of a weird noise.
Chatter. That was
This one isn't bad.
you
You
can
get it
probably see
going.
that thing going up.
Yeah.
quickly.
Okay, so
Well, if
It
do
didn't
dull
really
or you're
work
not
as well as I was
resting, right, the same
hoping.
happens. But
It
here
didn't-
you want it to happen.
it didn't work as nearly as well as I was hoping for, but at least it did leave some marking, so there's a little bit of detail on it. So there's something there. So now I need to finish up the one side there. Because last time I checked, finials don't have square edges on them. Well, these are my finials. Nee. Okay, I don't need it right now.
No. Video rules.
I wrote my own books. All right, so that piece, I believe, is done. So this is what's going to be sitting on top of the shell. So let's take that out. This will sit like that. It's kind of clunky, but again, this is just what I have. So if you wanted this to actually sit further in, you could actually undercut it like from here in to allow for these bumps to go up inside so they'd sit a little bit flatter.
Or you just very carefully Dremel the bumps off, but
No, it's probably not a good idea. Yeah,
You can put
These
a
things,
little
I
bit of
mean,
chalk on the bumps and then make a mark.
each
just
one
like
of
the
these
dentist
things
does,
right
and
here-
then use a Dremel to cut a hole for the
Right.
bumps
Yeah.
to fit in.
each one of these seams here is just little fibers of shell holding the thing together. So if you were to bump it the wrong way, it would snap right off. These things are very, very
He's
delicate.
talking about drilling holes in the wood to fit those bumps.
Yeah. Yeah, you can,
So how are you gonna know which ones are where?
you know, you just mark it with a little bit of chalk and then put it down and it makes a mark on the black wood, take it off, and then it tells you where to use your burr and your Dremel and make a
Just
little
put a
dent
little
for
groove
it.
all the way around. So
Yeah,
that the-
yeah.
What if you just wrap some tape around the shell so it doesn't come apart? Put it against a disc sander for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I've
Make
just
it
learned.
They
I've used
shatter.
it. I did those little acorn markings with it. It's pretty
Yeah,
handy.
it doesn't take much to shatter these things.
I don't have one yet. John-
I've lost 2, trying to clean them up that way.
All tools.
One with the sander and I just barely touched it, it goes, I was like, okay. So then I thought, well, I'll try that, because, I mean, you can literally see where the thing had come apart. And so I wrapped tape around it, and I just put it on a piece of sandpaper like this,
Yeah,
and it shattered.
no shit.
See the face?
They're very, very delicate.
There you go, there you go.
All right, so now,
but I,
As long as you don't stand there.
if you put it online, so you look from home, you don't come here.
Oh, good.
But, you know, then we miss you, you know, that's no good.
Well, it wouldn't come anymore. If you put it all,
Not good.
it's better to be there.
all right. This is where it gets interesting,
Yeah, that's for sure.
because I gotta get this in far enough to hold it for the time being while I get it knocked down. You always check clearance before you start doing anything. You do this before you turn it on, because if you're in the middle of the jaws here and this is hitting the jaws, something's got to give, and one of those is going to get scarred somehow. It'll either score it or break it, and it's only being held on by screws. So,
Or the wood could hit, you know.
huh?
Yeah, or the wood, you know, the wood may be off center or whatever. I never ever switch it on without spinning it by hand. Just gets automatic.
This has to stay up like that, because otherwise you break the leads. They keep sliding down. Okay, so now we're going to,
No, I didn't mention here. That would be easy.
can you see okay?
Yeah,
All right,
see, great.
so now I'm going to make it round.
Oh, that's what you do. You make square things round.
Amazing, isn't it?
That's true, it is. And then this is the size piece of how it is.
All right.
It's that defining difference. See, cabinet makers, furniture makers, they take round trees and make them square.
That's what Jim does.
We take square things and make them round. May the two never meet.
I went to the AAW convention over in San Jose when it was here. There was a guy in the convention that wanted to know if there was a tool that he could take square stock and make it round before he put it on the lathe. And everybody just completely lost it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that poor guy. He's like, what? He goes, and it was like, it's called a lathe.
Yeah, but you could use a table saw or
Yeah, but I mean, he was totally serious about it. I was just like, oh, that poor guy.
Larry, if you spin it the other way now, you change the round thing into a square or not?
Yeah, the reverse on this machine is if you screw up something really bad, just put it in reverse and you can go like this and all the wood goes back on. Start over.
Get square again, great.
If you find that, I'm gonna use it on better things than wood.
That's in, it's on YouTube on an April Fool's thing. It cracked me up. All right, so now I'm gonna start shaping. Time to get rid of that. All right. Now I've got the center off, and this is going to need support. Even though it's ebony and it's pretty solid, it's a short piece of wood, you still need to hold it like this or like this. Okay? You've got to support it because when this thing starts getting thin, there's not a lot there. Couldn't help myself, I had to do that.
Yeah, of course you did.
He's all, not a sound, but, okay. Let's make a finish. And yes, I want to speed up really high for this. It gets dull fast. I don't have a sharp one. It gets very hot. Okay, so at this point, you would be sanding this tip, and you don't go back to it. Okay, you do about this much at a time, sand it, get it ready, move on to the section, and you don't go back to each section. That's just because they're delicate at this point and you don't want to mess with them. Hot.
When I'm doing this, I find it helpful not to do the last little bit of the point and leave the tailstock, leave the line center on it. That gives you a lot more support and less vibration as you work your way down and you come back at the very end and
Part it
cut
off,
the,
yeah.
cut the
That's what I do
tip.
with
Yeah.
Bob.
Not nearly as much fun that way, but.
So one of the things that's very easy to happen when you're like this is you will turn it, but it ain't round because it's whipping.
You're saying even when you're holding it like that, or even when you're doing it?
Is that vibration?
Amazing.
That's what's causing the noise, is the vibration.
What's causing the vibration?
It's not supported, it's
There's no
flexible.
support. That's why you're using fingers. That's why you keep getting burned. It's running right now 2,825.
When I turn bobbins, I'm doing it 39.70.
You use your hand on everything. I wouldn't trust a glove.
They may however be.
It doesn't get hot. You notice it when you stop.
Right there.
Yep.
You just, right there, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I needed to get right into that spot, and like I couldn't see it. All right, hold your light for a minute. Good, hold on to it. Turn it off a minute. So you got it. At this point, see what I'm doing for a minute.
We had one yesterday shining right down the
Feels really wrong to me.
What I'm working on right now is actually the bottom finial. The top one will only be about this long. And like on that one, this one right here, I actually put it on the sander and sanded flat on both sides, and then used my Dremel with a really aggressive bit to cut a hole in the center, so to use it as a hanger. Obviously I can't do that part on this. I can make this, but I can't do the rest of it.
Quite a contrast between yesterday and today.
Just a little. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, the last cut worked.
Good.
It doesn't always work that way, but All right. So what I'm working on now is called the onion. And that is the bulge that you usually see on spindles. Why, I don't know that. That's what I'm working on.
If you want it to be an onion.
Used to think of the onion domes in Orthodox churches. I believe we can do that. I do like, yeah, I know, I did. Tried, it's not very well.
No.
Oh, fat onion.
Good little onion.
Just chop it up.
Yes. That toilet gets stopped up again. I don't like being a bathroom Nazi.
When it works. I've actually made these cuts before where you're like right in there and you're just about to pull out, you go, boom!
Of course.
And it's not helping that I can't see very well.
You've always cut downhill, right? Interest on this side, interest on that side. They don't go in and then up on the other side. So
Alright, so now, the last thing to do on this is, hey Tim, do you have a party tool over there?
Freshly sharpened.
Oh good, because I forgot mine. There was always something I forget to do, right? Alright, so now I'm going to make the base for this. So it's going to sit inside of that. Alright, so that'll be the bottom of it. And the top is basically the same kind of thing, which I will have fully finished at the next meeting.
the top is slightly different in that you need space for a little.
Do what?
Well, this is the bottom. The top one is almost the same, but it has to be a little bit thicker because you want to get a piece of metal for an eyelet in there.
No, this would be the top that you're talking about. This is the bottom. The top,
So
the top
we
would only be
said the
this
top
long.
is the same, but the top needs to have an eyelet in it. So
No,
you know,
they're not the same at all.
that's what I mean. It's much thicker.
The top is much thicker.
Yes. No, but you just said the top is the same. and do the thing, and hopefully it's all different. So you can make it like that.
So the top is much thicker. It's still got some nice little grooves and stuff on it, just to make it look
See how
fancy.
it crashes.
It's got to fit into the hole, and it's got to have a tenon to glue to the other part. So, yeah.
Open that way. Are you cutting uphill?
Yep. I am.
See that problem? Yes, I am.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, see, this is why I'm telling you, if you see something I'm not doing right or whatever, you need to speak up. And that's why I do things the way I do. I don't do all weird stuff, you know, like everything's all screwed up, but I'll throw something in just to see if anybody's paying attention.
Yeah, yeah,
If you're
yeah.
cutting a
Minty
hole
did
and
it.
you try to go uphill,
Did it work?
According to
All right, now this is what we're shooting for.
that's still quite a bit thinner than what you have.
Yeah, quite a bit. But I get close and I know, okay, now I need to measure. Perfect. And I also undercut so that it sits flat. See that tip wobbling around? Ah. No, I'm not bewitched. I can't wiggle and make it work.
Basically, while you're turning ebony, that always gets you big kind of black spotches in your face.
Okay, we're almost there. Alright. So it's about ready to come off. And I want the
I never saw it happen. Your arm was in the way.
Yeah, holding it while you're throwing it off.
yeah, you just kind of hold it like that.
But your arm was in the way. We didn't see it happen. So you can show it on
Well, I
the
can't put it back. Sorry, my reverse doesn't work that well.
No, but you can hold it in the camera so we can.
But if you hold it like this,
Yeah, we can't see that.
Still can't see it in your hands, man.
Yes.
There
how's
you
that?
go.
If you're holding it this way, you can't cut. But if you put your arm on the other side where you guys can't see, like that maybe,
Right, right.
See?
There you go.
See?
You can
We
cut
knew
through
you could do
here.
it.
and this holds it from flying off.
Yeah,
All right.
and you catch your long sleeve there.
You skipped the long sleeves on this part.
And it doesn't fit the damn hole. How the hell did that happen?
Uh-oh.
What you need is one of those reamer things.
Hey, I know somebody has one.
You need it right now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not fitting.
It's
That's weird, because I measured the drill bit. It should be
because
the
the
same
jaws on
size.
the calipers flex when you do that.
When you're
You force it, you end up forcing it
No,
over the
I
thing.
forced it, and then I cut off a little bit more and smoothed it out.
Well,
But I know what it is.
I highly
one end that's a little
recommend
bit
that
big.
you stop and check.
Oh, look, a reamer.
Don't you wish you had?
I do.
Nice to meet you. Mr. Mouse?
Actually, sandpaper would work really well for this right now.
You know what I mean?
No, I'd sand the end of that thing, because it's kind of shaped like this a little bit. And this a little bit. Hey, I never said I was John or a professional. Of course, John doesn't really say that either, but because we know John's not totally professional, because John can make a box and screw it up like everybody else.
Since when don't professionals?
And yes,
screw
John, I
things
will
up?
never forget that.
Nor let me.
He goes, well, I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh man, that was funny.
I just wanted to see if you guys were paying attention.
Everybody was paying attention. Oh, John's a professional. He knows what he's doing. Oops. Oh man.
It's not just us beginners.
No,
Yeah, no, everybody gets to do stupid stuff like
I've
that.
just been beginning
All
longer.
right, so
than-
basically it's gonna sit in there like that, except it's gotta go around the way. So, because I screwed up, I'm not the professional.
And yet nobody hates him, so if you're not a professional or not really skilled, you can still do a
It kind
demo.
of tapers the wrong way.
It's got that little taper that went the wrong way. So that's when I made it, it was perfect down here, but then I lengthened it knowing that I was gonna have to cut the back end of that off. I didn't clean that section up either, so it's a little bit long right there. So, it will go in if I sand out that one section. So there's the bottom.
And now you could turn this out of one piece of ebony. Most people that have, 1.5 inch of ebony are not just kind of turn it down to something. It's a bit wasteful for. If it's a 2x4, by all means, right? Or a piece of maple or so. But ebony,
Yeah. These pieces of ebony that I brought in today, I bought, this was one piece, plus that one, I cut it in half. That was $10. And I bought 7 of these. One of them was so cracked, I might be able to make toothpicks. So I figured, well, what the hell? Maybe I can glue it together and do something with it, but
Serena's College down in Orange County has a professional woodworking cabinetry certificate
we don't
program.
like cabinet makers.
Well, but I like these guys because they do a lot of exotic woods and stuff, and they, the last time I was there, I went back to the dumpster and all these
oh,
offcuts.
that's not, I knew I had it.
5-gallon bucket, $5.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
holy man.
And
And for you, that'll last a long time.
Pen turner, all sorts of stuff.
It's,
Oh man, it was
any of
awesome.
these finials, nobbies, everything.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Offcuts,
but they're just throwing it away. They don't.
yeah, because cabinet makers
So
don't know the value
Larry,
of
with
stuff.
that, with that cracked ebony, could you soak that with resin and use your vacuum to pull it into
That's
the
what I'm
cracks and
thinking.
use that?
But this stuff is so dense, it may not even work.
You say the oils, and I've read that the oils in the wood doesn't help it to bond,
Yeah. It's hard to say. Oh, look, it's almost there. And look at that, it's almost a perfect fit, too. That was a good guess. I'll get there eventually.
Is that the end of the demo? Or?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Because the other half is the same thing. And I don't wanna mess, because I'm kinda out of time. Just as information, last month, oh, that's perfect, look at that.
Oh!
And because it's ebony, it won't break it.
Yeah, the small stuff doesn't break when you drop it.
All right, so now you can pass these around.
You're just doing that to make me feel good.
So while they're passed around, while they're being passed around,
Well, you don't want it?